In terms of looking at goals, I think one of the best things that Communo does is they force every aspiring member to take a self-assessment. Do you guys remember taking those? It was like 8 questions, it was a 12-point scale, and you plotted where do you consider yourself today, and where would you like to be 2 years from now? There is genius in that 2 years. Communo's not going to change your life in 3 months. You also shouldn't wait 5 years to decide, is this working for me or not? Give yourself, lots of times you gave yourself more than 2 years to get into this mess, so give yourself a little bit of time to get out of it. So have some practical goals about how far and how fast can you go. But 2 years are manageable time frames by which you can set realistic goals and have marked improvement along your way. And most of you, if you took that assessment honestly, it was your own answers, right? You can care less what Chris Kneeland wants you to do for your business, right? But you should care a lot about what you want yourself to do for your business. So that self-assessment was no Communo member telling you, I think you should be $1 million next year, or I think you should have 2 more clients, or why don't you go get it? It's you. You're sitting there, and if you were honest with yourself, you likely found some gaps. Right? And if you didn't have very many gaps, that self-assessment tool tells you, congratulations, you're kicking ass, you don't need Communo. Did anybody get that answer when you put it into the tool? No? So then that would mean that at least we're 1 point away from needing a little bit of help of what your delta was. Right? There's also an answer on that self-assessment that says, you're kind of lost, go get a real job, because you could make a lot more money working for somebody. Did anybody get that answer on your self-assessment? That's probably pretty good too, right? Because that would mean that you've got some framework that should give you some sense of confidence that you're on the right path. It's simply a matter of how far and how fast, right? When you look at that self-assessment, I'm going to share with you some of the things that as I filled it out, found inspiring. I want to be more emboldened to try new things, to experiment, to push myself outside of my comfort zone, and to exploit new opportunities. I didn't score as well on that as I would have liked. I'm not at the point in my career yet where I'm as emboldened as I'd like to be. Could be the wife, kids, and mortgage. It could just be my own risk tolerance. It could be that I'm tired. But I would like to be better. So I like to surround myself with people that are more emboldened than myself to do big, crazy things. I want to free myself up to focus more attention on work that fascinates and motivates me. What a privilege to be able to decline things because you don't need the money. You just want to do things that are professionally stimulating. I'm not there yet. There's still things that I'm doing. You'll never see it on our website. We're never going to talk about it in public, but we've sold ourselves a little bit. We cheated. I needed the money. I had some mouths to feed. I have a goal I'm trying to make, right? So I'm not there yet. To have that total freedom to be able to say only stuff that inspires me. I want to continually expand my capabilities and my sources of motivation to start to retire now from the things that I find less desirable. Mike was up here talking about the stats of the generational differences between how long people are at companies. The biggest difference of my generation, I'm 43, is that we don't plan on retiring at 65. We don't work in a coal mine. I'm not eager to get done with work, right? My dad retired at 65 and he's bored to tears. He doesn't do golf, he doesn't like to travel, right? He went back to work, right? He's going to actually, I think, join Communo. So don't hire him. He's old, but he doesn't know how to use his computer. But don't plan on retiring when you're 65. There will be people in this room who will live well into their hundreds. Maybe not Nicholas, but some younger people in this room are going to live in these centurions. So work until you're 75, 85 years old. If you've done the previous thing, if you're working on the stuff that fascinates you and motivates you, why would you stop doing that? Right? But stop tomorrow, one thing that you hate. And the next year, pick another thing that you hate. So by the end of your 40, 50, 60 year career, you've just stopped doing all the stuff you don't like doing, and you're only doing the stuff that you do. I want to master my calendar so that I'm able to dedicate more time for the things that I really want to do instead of the stuff that I have to do. Your time management is synonymous with your growth management. If you are not growing as fast as you'd like, I can draw a 100% correlation to you're not spending your time on the things that you're supposed to be doing. So be very, guard your calendar as precious. We've made a rule at Cult that you can't schedule 30 or 60-minute meetings, because Outlook's default is 30 or 60-minute meetings, which means you just pick the laziest way of saying, let me get 30 minutes on your time. Even if I only had 12 minutes of stuff worth of talking about, I just picked 30 minutes because it was there. If you have 12 minutes of stuff to talk about, schedule a 12-minute meeting and get in and out, and honor your calendar, show your clients that you respect their time as well. I want the courage to transform everything, if necessary, in the pursuit of building a company that is 10 times bigger and better than it is today. Slaughter those sacred cows. Don't think that something you've done is so precious that you can't blow it up and start tomorrow. Right? No matter how good you think you are, it's not so sacred that you couldn't just start over. The question is, do you have the desire or the courage to do so? I'd like to have more desire and more courage to do the types of things that I want to do. I believe that those are mine, right? There's multiple things on those surveys. I believe that Communo can help me and Colt get further faster to achieve those types of goals. That's why Colt's a member of Communo. I believe that there's entrepreneurs in this room, and the hundreds more, and the thousands more that hope to aspire, that have ambitions, that they just need a little bit of coaching, they need maybe a little bit of a safety net, they need a little bit of hand-holding in order to have a far more rewarding career than what they would have in a traditional kind of environment. That's why I'm excited to be part of Kneeland. Now, not everybody is motivated by goal setting. Some people are motivated by fear, right? And they're doing things simply to avoid, probably not death, starvation possibly. You can't afford groceries, right? You're just operating out of fear. How many of you would admit that you're on a survivalist mode? That I'm just keeping my head above water right now, right? These people are not enjoying what they're supposed to be enjoying, which is a wedding, because they're scared shitless about what's following them from behind, right? Now, I actually wish my wife would let me do this with my wedding photo. She would not let me pull this off. This is going to be a great marriage if this couple allowed this to be their wedding photo. But this is an example of disruption and commoditization. Disruption and commoditization are the T-Rex that are chasing most of us today. Those are the villains or the monsters that we should be terrified of. So the question is, if you know those things are lurking in the bushes, what are you doing to avoid them? Disruption means that something beyond your control is going to radically impact your business. Ryan ran a very successful, popular 12-year agency. When he started, he was selling $300,000 websites. 12 years later, he's selling $30,000 websites. Same website. The world changed beneath him. Open source, templates, WordPress, college kid nephews that learned how to code, right? Ever through no fault of his own, he lost 90% of the value of his product. We've seen that happen with photography, we've seen that happen with videography, we've seen that happen with research, right? That industry is being disrupted. So we're not immune to that. Agencies are going out of business every single day because they haven't handled disruption well. But just as scary is commoditization. Nobody here, likely, I don't think, started their agency to be the Walmart of agencies. I don't know of any Communo member named Dollar General, right? Where you're here to give away the best thinking for the cheapest possible price. But that's what's happening. That's what commoditization is. And people cannot tell the difference between you and the person that was in the room an hour before you. They have no way to choose other than who's got the cheapest proposal, right? So if you don't want to be the cheapest, you better have something that makes you differentiated. You ever have a solution that will allow you to fight that kind of commoditization. Again, I would argue Communo helps you do that. It allows you to be different and better than the other people that are vying for the same share of your client's attention. Let me leave you with two, I think, game-changing thoughts. The first is this. I want you to think about this chair. Not this chair literally, but this chair metaphorically. The single most important thing that any business owner can do is to get a chair or a seat at the big kid table. Right? If you are just the vendor and you are just receiving prescriptive to-dos and being told, do this, shut up, don't ask any questions, then you do not have a good client and you do not have a good business. You've got to find a way to scrim, scrap, scrape, crawl, get a seat at the damn table. Right? You do that by proving your value and your worth. And sometimes, for us, it's simply asking why. Why are you asking me to do these kinds of things? Right? You may be pleasantly surprised at them inviting you into the conversation of a higher order conversation about this is our problem. And the minute you become, let me help you solve that problem, your world will begin to change. And it will change for two reasons. The first, you're now bringing the breadth and depth of your expertise. Not the client's interpretation of what you're good at, but your own actual articulation of, I can help you with this. Do nothing that will dilute your expertise. And all the coaching we do around business development and positioning, it is get niche. Get narrow. Do one specific thing better than anybody else, right? Never jeopardize that. But in addition to your expertise, that is not the only asset that you have at your disposal. You also have access to other experts. That is the 1-2 punch of Communo. That is the difference between going in on your own and joining a platform and a community that allows you to be bigger and better than everybody else. So without you diluting what you do, you can now bring your team to the table to solve other problems. Now let me show you why that's so important. Most of you might say, well, I'm a design agency, I'm a social media expert, I'm a researcher, I'm a back-end developer. No, you are only one of three things. You are either in the marketing business, all right? Marketers help businesses figure out how to sell more products or services at the best possible product. That's what you do. Now your specific craft might be I'm a branding expert, or I do consumer research, or I do strategy, or I do analytics. But it's a means to an end so that the client can figure out how to sell more stuff. So you should be communicating, I'm in marketing. I do marketing, even if I do social media or something different. Or you're in the communications business. Communications firms help businesses interact with key audiences in highly compelling ways. Those audiences can be internal, they can be external, they can be shareholders. I don't care who the audience is. But if you think that you're a designer or a copywriter or a UX expert or a public relations person, you're not. You're in the communications business. Or you're in the product development business. You help businesses build things, create new things that they can sell. It could be a product, it could be a service. So you actually might be a developer, an engineer, product development, an app maker, a market researcher, but it's for a means to the end of helping people build more product. I don't care what specific service you provide, you are always invited into the room and have a seat at that table so that you can be part of a bigger solution. You are one ingredient in a very large recipe. Communo lets you make money on the complementary components by elevating the value of your business to be the sum of all the related parts that you're able to bring to the table. So if I was you, I would start in the vertical. If I'm an app developer, I'm going to get to know every single Communo member that does market research, product development, or software engineering. If I'm a designer, I'm going to go find out every copywriter, UX, and PR person, social media person, whatever it is, in my particular vertical. Who else is in communications that I can invite to join me at the table? So first job, you're on your own. Get a seat at the table. Second job, sell the hell out of everything. You get a client that trusts you, your ability to say, yes, I can do that, without diluting it. I'm not personally going to do it. I'm a copywriter. But I got a team that can do those things. If you're really good, really bold, start hopping verticals, right? But do it respectfully. Don't overextend yourself. Don't start overpromising and under-delivering. But at least own the vertical in which you operate. Make sense? Second thing to think about, and we talked about it maybe ad nauseum, is your ability to focus. I think it's really ironic that a group of professional services providers struggle with delegation. Your business is trying to convince people to delegate stuff to you, You go into rooms and convince them, you're not that good at marketing, you should outsource it to me. You're not that good at communications, let me help you. But then with the thought of outsourcing your accounting to somebody else, what? Outsourcing your sales, what? You try to do it all, right? You're not following your own belief system about stop doing the stuff that you suck at, as Mike said earlier. Ironically, the one thing that Communo doesn't help you with is your craft. Right? There's nothing in the Communo curriculum about making copywriters write better, developers code better, designers design better. That's on you. As your own business owner, you got to be great at what you do. What Communo is designed to do is help you run a better business by taking all the other stuff you're not great at off your plate. So dealing with personnel, dealing with business, dealing with office space, accounting, technology, growing accounts, your pricing, your processes. This is the roadmap for coaching, where we're trying to find subject matter experts that can either teach you how to do it or just do it for you so that you're able to focus on the things that you do best. If you're spending your Sunday night energy away from your family, doing your payroll or doing your invoices, you're not being a very good husband, father, wife, or business owner, right? That's a waste of time. Delegate that stuff so that you can be spending more time on the things that actually matter. Ask yourself these questions. Are you basically doing the same day-to-day job description that you have been for the past several years? Have your revenues essentially plateaued despite the fact that you're working harder than you ever have before? Do you feel a personal obligation to handle every single client inquiry? Have you turned down additional work because you personally didn't have the bandwidth to handle it? And do you fear that expanding your business is going to result in inferior service? If you've said yes to 2 or more of those, you are not the boss of your business, you're the bottleneck of your business. You are what is hampering your growth. You are stunting the business's potential because you're not aware of your blind spots. You're going in with this mentality of I've got to do it all and I've got to do it on my own. And you're going to be limited to how many hours in a day you personally can contribute to that. And you might say, I'm young, I got energy, I'm going to do it. The goal isn't to figure out how do I gut through my business so that I can eventually find joy. Right? The goal is find joy now by being able to focus on the things that you want to focus most. I have a little paper that I'll leave up here as a gift for anybody that's interested in begin thinking about that self-assessment of not only what do I want to accomplish, but do I actually have a plan in place that's going to allow me to get there as far and as fast as I want. It is why we've built this business. We've taken the 3 things that we think that you guys struggle with because we've struggled with it ourselves. We continue to struggle with parts of it. Is the HR component, when to hire, when to fire, what to outsource, what to delegate, the business development engine, how do I get the phone to ring and how do I get more work, and the coaching of how do I just build a business. I'm really good at what I do, but it doesn't mean you're a really good business owner. I applaud you for being here because most community members label themselves not as freelancers, not necessarily as entrepreneurs, but as business owners. And if you do want to build a business, I'd suggest we have a way out. So, thank you so much. That's my speech.